Thanks for having me here. I'm Veeresh Malhan. I've been associated with Pidilite for 17 years now. And it's one of my first job I ever took. I've been across the various categories of consumer products, and then in the last 8-9 years, I was helping building the organization called as Pidilite, which is into Italian wood finishes. And I moved back in Pidilite on November of last year, and in the last 1 year, we've been trying to build something very, very unique called as Pidilite Professional Solutions, which is where we are today and what we are talking about. See, we have all grown up around Fevicol, Fevikwik, MCs, and the ads have been iconic, it's in nature. So I think the perception is a great perception. We are one of the few brands which are in the consumer space, not being in consumer space, but in consumer space. From that angle, it's a great perception. But at the same time, we are far more than only adhesive. We are into waterproofing under the umbrella of Dr. Fixit, which is one of the most iconic waterproofing brand in India. It's almost 25 years into existence. We are into something called as flooring under the brand name of Dr. Sippy. We also do tile adhesive and grouting under the brand name of Roff. We also do facades, which is one of the most recent acquisition which we have with a brand called Grupo Puma, which is from Spain. We also have the most iconic Italian wood finishes called ICA under us. So I think these are all solutions which solve for an architecture and interior designer needs, whether it's construction or interiors. And that is one of the things which we're trying to solve for. When we meet a lot of these clients, they say, okay, we know about Pidilite, but they talk about one brand or maybe two brands. They don't see us as a systematic or integrated solution provider. So our intent under Pidilite Professional Solution today is to provide all these integrated solutions under one roof, reach out to an architect, designer, builder, consultant from a point of view of a single point of contact, and give them all solutions which are needed from sketch to site. At Pidilite Professional Solutions, or PPS as we call it, we try to partner the architect or a designer from the sketch to site journey, which is necessarily a 4-step process. Right from the designing stage, this is where we want to get into the project, because most of the time when you're designing, you're exploring what can be done. And that is where we come in as an expert provider of solutions, saying if this is possible, this is not possible, and what should be the ideal solution. Moving on, you move on to the integrated solutions. When the sketch comes into existence and it's going to get into actually specification journey, but what solutions are going to be required, we get into the customized solution for that particular project. For example, if you're talking to an architect or designer about a hotel, the requirements will be very different from what a commercial building would have, or maybe a residential building will have. We try to build in integrated solution for a segment specific. Once you've moved on from that stage, you move into the site audit, where the site gets into execution. That is where we have a team which works with you on ensuring that the right audits of the sites are being done and information are provided on the regular intervals. And from there, we move into the documentation and warranty part. If the project has been undertaken by our in-house company like Nina Percep, which is the largest waterproofing service provider, we also get into the process of documentation and warranty of the project. So that's how we cover all the 4 steps of a sketch to site journey. I think India is the most exciting space to be today. India is being rebuilt, we are recreating. A lot of buildings are getting into repair mode. There are a lot of new age solutions which Pidilite is bringing into the country, looking at the sustainability situation. See, at Pidilite we very truly believe that sustainability without performance is not sustainability. Till the time we don't move only from a product sustainability model to a system sustainability model, it is actually not going to work. End of the day, when you are building or constructing for decades, you're reducing a lot of carbon footprint of bad construction or a faulty construction. So that is where Pidilite is also playing a huge role, building in sustainable system solutions. So like I said in my previous answer, the moment you move towards sustainable systems and not only product, because a green product may be expensive and it may just solve a particular need. It may not make the whole system green. That is where Pidilite is integrating a lot of their systems which are long-term in nature, which are cutting cost for future. It is creating solutions which may not require interventions on a frequent level. The craftsmanship will come out to be much better. And as we are all aware, in construction or interiors, the system solutions are as good as the person who's going to be doing it. So how do we make that better? How do we work with the contractors and the applicators, upgrade them, train them, make them efficient so that the solutions are executed well? That's where we are making a difference. So we all operate as different SBUs, but in the way we are all working under the same umbrella. And in Pidilite, there is nothing called as I. We are all a we sort of an organization where we all work for a common agenda. Pidilite Professional Solutions is bringing in the, whether it is for the architect, interior designer, and at the same time it is internal to the company. We're bringing all the divisions together, providing solutions for them as well. If this division goes to an architect or a designer, we bring solutions for each and every division to execute. So that way we integrate not only for an architect designer, but within the organization itself. And in the process, bringing out the synergies which are there. For example, if we are doing an airport project, we are doing the re-roofing for the Terminal 2 in Bombay. At the same time, during the same meeting, we also executed the flooring. So that's where the synergy comes into play, and the designer, architect, builder also see us as one point of solution where he doesn't have to get into, or he or she doesn't have to get into the hassle of going to multiple people. Because most of the time, problems we've solved if somebody picks up the call. And that's what we solve for, along with the technical capability. EPS enables architects, designers, and builders to build boldly and sustainably.